What's up, guys? Pretty excited about this test. This is a cKc APFK Mini. I'm pretty sure I got that right. This is a convex edge, fully convex ground, made by Kylie Knives and Stuff. This is actually Mind's Mirror's knife, and he was kind enough to lend it to me to test and just to kind of get a feel for Kylie's knives. Something I have to get out of the way. I'm going to make you hear the autofocus last time. I make extremely sharp knives, okay? I'm not trying to toot my own horn here. I'm normally a really modest guy, humble. This isn't braggadocio at all. I produce the sharpest edges that I've personally ever felt with a V-grind. And I know that traditional V edges produce more drag when cutting than a convex edge. So my hair whittling edges, when I cut through this paper, they're effortless in my eyes, but this is a whole nother level of effortless. This isn't actually as sharp as my knives are, but the perceived sharpness is much, much higher because there is so much less drag in the cut. When I mean it glides through the paper, I mean that it absolutely, if you didn't know you were cutting paper, you wouldn't be able to tell. It's those convex edges are just another level of cutting ability. I think that this knife, even when dull, would cut better than a lot of people's sharp knives. It's really something you have to feel to understand. It just wants to cut, and the convex is perfect. There's no other words. This edge is this sharp after Nebulax's testing, which he cut cardboard, all sorts of stuff. This edge has had no sharpening done to it. It's been honed on a strop, but that's it. And I'm telling you, this edge, it's ridiculous how well this knife has held its edge. I mean, it's not hair whittling sharp like my knives are, but for the amount of work this knife has done, it's unbelievable how sharp this knife is. Absolutely unbelievable. I definitely am sold on Kylie's knives, his ability. The edge it's just ridiculous. I wish you guys could feel it. So, just based on Nebulax's video, the amount he used this knife, and the sharpness that it came to me at, I'm expecting this steel to do extremely well on this test, and I'm ready to get to it. So, without further ado, first cut. It's first full push cut of this rope. I wanna say that. First 100% push cut of this rope. No V-grind has been able to do that yet. So I want to test sharpness. Still very sharp. Got a few rolls in there, to be expected. Man, it cuts so easily. So easily. It's honestly hard to explain, but it just feels so different than a traditional V-grind. Pretty sure this is O-1 tool steel. I could be wrong on it being a tool steel, but I'm fairly sure it's O-1. I have dulled this pretty badly so far. Yeah, there's a couple rolls or nicks. I can't decipher it just by looking at it with my naked eye. This is in the top 3 best cutters, probably top 2 best cutters that I've tested yet, just based on slicing ability alone. Test sharpness. Got a few rolls in there. I doubt they're chips just because of the convex grind. Doubt they're chips greatly. I doubt it greatly. I can actually feel the roll. They are just rolls. So we'll see if that comes out with honing on the strop. Just cuts like crazy. I'm not sure if this is the stock grind that Callie put on the knife. I know that Mine's Mirror asked me not to take the knife to any stones or anything, so I'm going to honor his wishes and not touch the edge. He said I can hone it on a strop, but don't take it to any stones or anything, so we're not going to do that. I'm going to try push cut again. Effortless push cutting. Not going to take this to any stones or anything like that. No sandpaper. Solely strop. So, check my time. If those rolls weren't there, I feel it would still slice through this fairly easily. I think it's those rolls that are really hindering it. Get through this last cut. Done. Right? Fairly significant roll in there. I'm starting to believe that I'm possibly driving contaminants down into the plastic in here. And as I'm slicing, I may be hitting some of those harder contaminants that are in this rope. So I may change the cutting board soon. Of course, that's going to change the validity of the test, but I feel like as time goes on, that it's getting harder and harder for the knives to hold their edge. Something I want to do, since we still have time, is strop the edge and see how much we can restore it. I'm putting no pressure in this. I'm not exactly sure of the proper technique to strop a convex knife. I'm not sure if pressure is allowed or a high angle is allowed. So I'm going to go low pressure, low angle, just to be on the safe side. I'm not expecting the strop to pull out the rolls, but it should make the undamaged parts of the blade much sharper. You grab a piece of phone book paper. Yes, the undamaged parts of this blade are much sharper, but the strop is not going to take the rolls out, so I don't know what to call this. I'm not sure, being pretty much 100% uneducated on how convex edges work and how they dull. I'm not sure that I could give any definitive answer on how this performed, so I think I'm just going to leave it at this. Show what it did and let people comment and pretty much educate me on the process of convex edges and how they dull, and pretty much how they perform. I feel that it, performance-wise, we're not talking about edge retention here. We're talking about performance. Definitely in the top 2 knives that I've tested as far as cutting ability goes. The cutting ability is just absolutely insane on this knife. The convex is really bulbous and thick up at the top, but it's so it's so shallow down here that it almost feels like a V-edge. But it is convex, but it almost feels like a V-edge, a zero grind V-edge. So I'm thinking that's where that hyper cutting performance comes into play, is this thin, lean cutting edge down here. So, not going to comment on edge retention at all because I don't feel comfortable doing that, but the knife cuts like crazy. I'm definitely going to buy a cKc knife of my own pretty soon. I think I may get a pen knife. I'm not sure. But looking forward to what you guys have to say about it, and thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.